Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the 2024 John Mclintock Cup presentation. I see we have a few people here tonight. I was kind of hoping we'd have more. I'm glad to have you all here. I am recording this, so thank you, everyone, for having your mics muted for the moment. And then a little later on, when we start jibber jabbering, feel free to unmute. Normally, I would have the camera on today, but I am dialing in from a plague house, and my vanity will not let you all see me how crappy I look. But we are endeavoring to get through it, and did not want to miss this special occasion. I had to kick it back a week because I was completely bedridden last week, but now I'm back and all is well. So without further ado, my pleasure now for the second time to present the John McLintock Cup for our newer players that may be here that have joined in the last year. Just a quick rundown of who John was. He was one of our ladder players who was already well ensconced in the Combat Commander play world. He had been around since the early days after Chad released the game. He was an early adopter, an extremely skilled player. Some might say sharky, but he was an absolute pleasure to play with. He was in the nuts and bolts. He had the ear of the developers on battle packs. So whenever something would come out, he would rigorously help play test, and he was always one to find out a nuance to the game or exploit a little rule. Some things that we take for granted now, some of the actual tenets of Combat Commander, I think, have come from John's early play. And I was so fortunate to have two opportunities to play through campaign games with him right before he joined the ladder officially in 2022. He came on board in January of 2022, and he went on a 7-month run, 7 months, directly straight from his first play at the bottom of the ladder all the way up to winning the championship game in July of 2022, very early. And suddenly and unfortunately, John passed away right after that happened. So it's one of those stories that you could never possibly script, but it was very bittersweet. Literally 3 or 4 days after winning the championship, it was unfortunate we lost John. So I thought, what better way to honor him and his brief time on the ladder than to give an award every year in his namesake to honor the wonderful player that he was and many of the attributes that he brought to us. So that's what brings us here today. This is our second one. Let's talk first before we get into all of that. This is the opportunity that I have to just give you a rundown of some of the numbers from 2024. I did this last year. So in brief, we finished our 7th year at the end of May. We started on June 1st in 2017. So we've completed 7 full cycles. We are now in our 8th year. We started the Discord server in August of 2020. So during the midst of COVID, that was the best way to facilitate a community. A lot of other groups were doing this online in virtual environments. So this was a great chance for us to. I figured, well, what the heck? I'll take a crack at Discord, and I saw some of the other ways that people were using it. So I set one up in 2020, and we have completed 4 years now, and it has been the focal point of our community. Once a person is on the ladder and in the community and on the Discord server, they are finding the wealth of the entire ladder experience, from strategy tips and as some have taken opportunities to make regular plays a part of their daily routine. The ladder would not be as successful as it was all these years now without having built the Discord server. So thank you to everyone who participates in that. This past year I went through the numbers, we completed 545 paired matches. That was everyone that actually completed their games for the 12 months. And Tony, in his time on the ladder, has now completed his 9,999th game. So congratulations, Tony. Well done, sir. You are a credit to Combat Commander play. We also still, this year, up a little bit from the previous year. We've logged 42 complaints, specifically regarding the French discard limit of 1. So for those of you who have played through anything with the French, you know it's hard, but that's okay. We will still log those complaints every year because it's new to somebody each and every time. This year we added 31 new players, so that was great. We are averaging about one or two a month, and you are all de facto recruiters. So if you have players out there that you've encountered remotely and you think that they would be a good fit for the ladder, please do invite them. That information is all there available on the Board Game Geek link. Otherwise, basically, they just need to get in contact with me and we will get them squared away. Some of you are going to Stephen Gibson's Combat Commander Convention in Falls Church, Virginia, and I'm very disappointed that now in the fourth year I still have not been able to go because it runs right up against a local convention that I support. So I apologize for not being able to be there in person, but I'm just so excited that that has become a nice in-person opportunity for a lot of our very active players to get together across the table. I know Bill Simone's gone, Steve Recht, and a few others, so continue to support that. I really think that's a wonderful thing. And unfortunately, we had 39 people go on hiatus. We had some usually quite active players that have been on the ladder for multiple years. Some of them just said, hey, I need to take a break. And everyone has that opportunity. So don't ever feel like it's a black mark against you if real life does get in the way, and if you need to go on hiatus for multiple months, just let me know. And I put you off onto the side, and whenever you're ready to come back in, we just put you back into an active status. Now, for those of you who just kind of disappear, you will be relegated to the hiatus list without your choosing, but most people will just use that as an opportunity to take a break. We have a few people that I'm hoping that will return this year that have taken the majority of 2024 off, and some periodically just do it as part of their year cycle. They don't concern themselves so much with competing for the McLintock Cup, which has a requirement of at least 8 months played. So some will do about 6 months on, 6 months off. That's always fine. Hopefully we will not lose any more players in the coming year. Thankfully, we've had 0 fallen soldiers this year. Of course, the first year we had John Mclintock. We had Al Hay, who was briefly on the ladder a couple of years back. He sadly passed away. And then Greg Ottoman, who was one of our perfect attendance players. He sadly passed away in 2023. But this year we were fortunate not to lose anyone. We're very thankful for that. The moment you've all been waiting for. The top 5, because I want to keep this at about 20 minutes. So I'm just going to run through our ranks 2 through 5, our 4 runner-ups for the McLintock Cup this year. And again, just for those of you who are not familiar, I do put that information in the monthly email, how it works. But essentially, you have to play at least 8 months. And you could see that it is a breakdown between your accumulated points between win and loss, meaning that the number that's calculated by your strength of schedule. So if you are a weaker player and you knock off a very astounding high-rated player, that's a lot of points that work towards you. So we take your 8 best scores for the year, and that contributes 75% of your score. The bonus points are the encouragement of how quickly you get your games done. So for those of you who are trying to get those 500 XP, the first 3 games to be completed, that really contributes towards your bonus points. So we take your 8 months worth of bonus points and whatever that weights to 15%. And then finally, the amount of activity that you do outside of the general chat area on the Discord server. So if you're helping people out in the rules questions, or you're answering specific questions in one of the game titles, or like Scott does in the vassal development, all of that activity outside of the general chat contributes 10% towards your McLintock total points. And we add all those 3 together, and that is your final score. So without further ado, here are our top 5. In 5th place, we have Dwight. And Dwight, I saw you were on the call. He is one of our captain levels right now. He got 695 total points between his win-loss, 103 bonus points. So he is one of those people that tends to get his games played about the middle of the month. And obviously, the earlier you do, the higher those bonus points are going to be. And your Discord posting is 20. So your total was 826. Greg? I saw you're on the call as well. Greg, you're also a captain. You got 618 points for your win-loss. And you'll see that it's kind of counterintuitive where your win-loss is a little weaker, but you make up for it in other things. So if you play early, then you tend to get more bonus points. So that XP can help offset, even though it's worth less overall. And your Discord posting was about the same. So you got about 40 more points than Dwight. And our third place spot was Ted, one of our second lieutenants. 611 total win-loss points and 338 points. So you can see those bonus points. It really encourages some people that like to play early in the month. And I love it because then I don't have to be herding cats at the end of the month. So that's why I put that incentive in there for those bonus points. And some of you do take advantage of it. I really appreciate that. Our Discord posting for Ted is 10. So you can see that he was about 100 posts throughout the year. And that gave him a total of 959 points. That brings us to our first runner-up. Who was it? It was Dom. Dom, who was just recently at the top of the ladder and was a strong favorite for this one. Mathematically, very close between Dom and the first place. Very strong win-loss, 795 points, 163 for bonus, and he even said, I saw him post somewhere that, gosh, I don't post as much on Discord, so that kind of hurt. And in this factor, we see that. If you get in there and you participate a little more on the Discord server, then that helps a little bit, but it's only 10%, so don't kill yourself. So you can see a difference of 7 points there between third and second place. So, big drum roll, please. Here we go. Here's our first place 2024 recipient. You can see in 2023, our very first one was James Dickinson. James couldn't be on the call today, but he did send well wishes, and he is proud to hand off the cup to our 2024 recipient, who had 750 points in win-loss, 210 total bonus points, so playing early and often, and 47 Discord points. This year's 2024 recipient with a total of 1,007 points is yours truly. Congratulations, I guess, to me. It was weird to. Oh, thank you. Unmuting for the clap. It's one of those bittersweet things where okay, so I won. And usually, the award ceremony is like, I didn't prepare any speech because I didn't think I was going to win. And of course, in this case, I knew I was going to win. But I have to say that this year was an extremely fortunate one for me for two reasons. One, I went on a 10-2 win-loss streak. So my 8 best score points were all wins, so I had nothing as a demerit there to take away from that. So that really helped. I think anybody who goes a strong 7-game streak is automatically in contention. Some of our stronger players that will play 8 and 9-game streaks, that win-loss points will, if presuming, and I was also fortunate that I was playing against very, very strong opponents, and I was getting points for overcoming those. So both my area rating came up considerably this year. I think I went from like 4,600 all the way up to, I think I'm about 5,500. So 800 or 900 point swing on that. So that is the bulk of what kind of put me into this position. And I think the Discord points, that is just the nature of me being the ladder administrator, your battalion commander or whatever, running the stuff. And luckily, a lot of those points came from the administration outside the general area. But I want to actually share this award with everybody because I certainly could not have done it without all of you making this such a fun environment and keeping this going. So, yes, while my name is on the trophy this year, I'll probably not see it again because I don't think I will be fortunate enough to have a win streak such as I did this year. I was just the right set of circumstances, the stars all aligned, and I had a great series of games this year, which I got to share with a wonderful set of opponents throughout the year. So even though I overcame them and won those games, it was a benefit to me just for being so much fun. Thank you everyone for that. thank you all for a great 2024. And we're already starting strong with 2025. We're almost done with the first round. I want to encourage everyone to definitely jump in both feet. Even if you have a bad first month, don't let that color the rest of the year for you. Those 8 months can come anywhere throughout the year. So all you need is your best 8 games out of 12 to put you in contention for the McLintock Cup. So thank you to everyone for that. Thank you for making this a wonderful community. I see some of the toxic nature of other environments in Discord, and that is not a case here. We're all adults. I never have to moderate anything, and so you guys just make this a pleasure to be the administrator for. So with that, I've gone for 18 minutes. I'm going to open up the floor. If anybody has any discussion topics before we send it off, I will leave it to you.
Congratulations, Patrick.
Yes, congratulations. Much congratulations.
You deserve it. All the work you do with the ladder, thanks to you and your channel that I discovered this game and joined the ladder. And it's been a blast. It's given me a new hobby of wargaming. And not only this game, but playing great campaigns of the Civil War. So thank you very much for all your work.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. It is a joy not only to share my passions with everybody else, but to hear that feedback that it's resonating with other folks. So keep it up. Keep playing all of these games of ours and keep passing that torch on to other players, because I think the more we grow and we bring people that will appreciate it as much as we do, we're just going to get stronger and stronger in the hobby. So thank you for that.
I just wanted to repeat Dwight's comments and just say thank you so much for all the work you do. It really is appreciated. We know you do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and I think everybody really appreciates the job you put in and the work you do in the ladder. So, yeah, just thank you.
Well, thank you, Steve. I appreciate that very much. So that was the year of 2024. It was very successful. We're ascendant still, and I think I look forward to passing this trophy on to the next deserving participant. I know we are definitely honoring John in all of his spirit for this game, and I just couldn't do it without all of you as well. So thank you so much for that. And I'll leave anybody to closing thoughts, and then we'll head on out. All right, hearing none, then we are all dismissed, and I will see you all on the ladder. Take care, everyone.